So a couple of days ago, Mickey woke up and he wanted to wreak fucking havoc and do some crazy fucking shit. So he decided to kidnap a cop at gunpoint, put him in our car while we were driving, and then basically drop the cop off. But at that point, it was too late, right? We already had the whole PD on us. We were getting chased by fucking 40 cops and Air One and everything. So it was some crazy shit, like crazy chase. We were in a shitty Granger, you know, the 8-seater that goes like fucking 50 miles an hour, and then we crashed out at Little Seoul. So we start running. We all start like scattering and running, right? Somebody goes Vespucci, somebody goes Little Seoul, somebody goes fucking towards Burger Shot, somebody goes towards fucking Legion Square. Like everybody's running in different directions.
Alright,
Yusuf,
spreading out.
yeah. Yusuf gets his car and then picks me up, right? He picks me up with his car and then we get chased for a bit. I lose the cops because we swapped to driving, and then I end up losing them. And then I go get my car and save the rest of the board. I pick each of them up one by one, right? So I pick someone up, I get chased, I lose them. I pick somebody else up, I get chased, I lose them, I drop them off. And then in the end, there was Rico left, right? And he was the guy that went towards Civ Docks and started swimming in the water to get away. And he had, at that point, like, everyone else was Gucci, everybody else lost the cops. So all the units were on Rico. Like, Air 1 was above him, 20 cops tasing him, punching him, because, you know, obviously we kidnapped the cops, so they're gonna use fucking brute force.
Yeah.
So he ends up swimming from Civ Docks to BBMC turf, right? To Vespucci. And then he starts running around over there, on foot, being chased by like 20 cops. I pull up, and I'm getting rammed, right? And then, in some fucking miracle, right, I was able to pick him up.
Yeah.
But we were getting rammed, the car was smoking, and we couldn't do nothing about it. And then Rusty, or Dusty, whatever his name is, the like high command in BBMC, decided to pull up to me, right, and say verbatim, word for word, why the fuck are you coming down here bringing cops to my turf with Air 1? You better get out of here before I smoke you myself.
You didn't know who you were?
Yes, because 10 minutes before that, me and Rico were having a conversation with them on their block. Like 20 minutes before that. Because we were with Mickey going around talking to gangs. And we were at their block. And he saw me and Rico over there being rammed by cops and Air 1 and tased and all that. And he decides to drive through the fucking police, ram us too, and go into the chase and say, get the fuck off my turf, why you bringing Air 1 to my turf before I smoke you myself. Like a threat, full on threat, right?
Okay.
To me. So obviously, I didn't say anything in that moment. I picked up Rico, and I was smoking. I had to dip, bro. I had to like do everything in my possibility to fucking lose these fucking cops. So obviously, I drive away. I do some shit, and then I lose the cops, right? And surprisingly, nobody got caught for that. Nobody. Out of everybody, nobody got caught.
Out?
Everybody got out.
Good shit,
it would have been some crazy charges, bro. Kidnapping of police officer. We had guns on us, armors on us. We had everything, bro. We got away. So then, after that, I'm like, yo, Fifi Perez. It's the only high command around. You know, like no Reggie, no Louis, no you, no Benji, no Ray. So it's us three from high command. Like me, Louis, me, Fifi, and Perez. I take them over here to where we're standing now. I'm trying to have a conversation with them. I'm trying to tell them what happened. Same story as I told you. And then I told them that this BBMC guy threatened my life over there. And not in a normal way. Like, there was 100 things he could have said. He's like, yo, man, please, like, go away from here. Don't bring cops to my block. Or don't do this again. Don't bring them here ever again. Kind of thing. But he decided to say he's gonna smoke me himself. You know? Like some big words he was using in that situation. So I tell them, like, this is not cool. This is not right. I don't fuck with that. Like, I don't know why they're doing that when so many situations that happened, we have let slide. They've done so much and we've let slide just because Benji and Dundee are cool friends. Right?
I don't feel like there's been a lot of shit because then I guess I will heard about it, you know. But we have done some shit to them. They have done some shit to us, you know. But now we focus about what happened, you know, yesterday.
Yeah. So, conversation happened between me and Perez, and then I told him, bro, this is not right. I wanna go talk to them, or I want them to come here so we can have a chat about this. And he was under the impression that I wanted to go smoke them, right? Like go shoot up their block or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I heard. You were a little bit heated, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he would assume that. I was heated. That is true. But
No, but that is understandable. You were heated, you know. Somebody said some shit.
exactly. And it wasn't like KJ, trust me when I say this. Like put yourself in their position. Let's say they being chased on foot right over here next to the house, right? On Fudge. What are you gonna tell them? You better never come back here with fucking cops or I smoke you, or be like, hey man, please keep it away from the house.
No, we are on the different vibe, you know. We are not BBMC. We're not Vagos. We don't hold down the block. We are not like Southside gang or motorcycle gang, you know. Like we do things differently. Like if you run through my backyard, you know, with the cops after you, hey, you do you.
Exactly. Like, I'm not telling them not to hold down their turf, but I just feel like, especially with the history we have and the kind of level of friendliness we are at right now because of Benji and Dundee, like, they are supposed to bring both gangs and club together, kind of like make them friends, right? But instead, they decide to say some crazy shit like that instead of kind of like moving it out the way and maybe after the situation have a conversation with us and being like, hey man, please just don't bring cops back to our Billy or whatever. But instead, bro decided to get his car into the chase and say he's gonna smoke me. Like, you can't say that's not fucked up, right?
Oh no, it's fucked up. I will probably jump out of my car and fucking shoot him myself.
Exactly, but I wasn't gonna do that because of Benji, right? Because I respect Benji and he doesn't wanna fucking do anything to BBMC, so I wasn't gonna do that. So I was talking to Perez. I was telling him how I want to go have a conversation with them, and he was under the impression that I was gonna go smoke them. So he's like, "What would like hold your horses, wait for Benji, or do or something with Benji? Like Benji's gonna take care of it or whatever." And then I said something along the lines of, "I don't care about Benji. I want to go fix it myself. Like I'm not gonna sit here and wait for Benji to come around. Like I don't give a fuck about Benji going to do this. I want to do it myself. I want to go and talk to them. I'm in a position where I'm able to go and express the way I felt in that moment, and I don't give a fuck about Benji coming. I want to go do it myself."
Yeah, I think from his point of view, because I had a talk with Perez, and from his point of view, from my understanding of what he was telling me, was like you were a little heated in the conversation, whatever, and he didn't want to, you know, take it out of hand. I understand you want to talk to them and do stuff like that as well, but sometimes it's better to cool, you know, and then go and have a chat. But yeah, I was not there. I don't know which demeanor you were in or how you were acting up, or if you were acting up at all, you know. You're telling me you were not. People who was around you felt like you were, you know, in a certain place. So
I mean, I was heated, KJ. Don't get me wrong. I was like heated and like
yeah, it's
saying
probably
a lot
not the
of
best to
things.
have a conversation when you're heated, because that will lead to gunshots.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I was heated when I was explaining my side of the story, because it was to Perez and Fifi, two people I'm able to trust with the way I feel about things, right?
Yeah,
But obviously,
yeah, and
when
you should be able to trust with that as well, you know, like same when you talk to me.
exactly, that's why like I talked to you about this, because I know you're my underboss, and if I can't speak to my underboss, then I can't speak to anyone.
Who the fuck are we?
Exactly. That's why I come here to you and talk to you about this. So, one thing led to another. I expressed my feelings. They understood that I was heated, but obviously, being I'm suspended lieutenant now, but being the lieutenant yesterday, right? I feel like I had the right to make a decision to be like, okay, I know that I'm heated in this moment, but I know when I'm representing Hades or when I go to a conversation, I know what I can do in that conversation. As in, I know I can be diplomatic. I know I can speak normally. I know I can't always be this irrational, right? And I feel like I should have had that.
I think you can be, but at the same time, I think you can be misinterpreted, like kind of like me, you know? Like, I'm very diplomatic when I talk to people. But with some gangs around the city, I never go and talk to them, even though whatever the fuck they done to me, I always send Benji to that conversation. Because they will feel some type of way just by me opening up my mouth. So it's kind of like you need to read the room of what you're doing as well. Even though you're in your right to go and speak to somebody, sometimes it's better to let other people handle it. Even though you probably will be good enough to handle it yourself. But it's kind of like you need to balance it out, you know, and need to understand. Because you are trying to do the right thing doesn't mean, you know, the people who are receiving what you're saying is on the same planet where you are.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. I see what you mean.
Yo. I'm not taking away from you, like, I think you can handle a lot of stuff, but I think, like, that is something I had to work a lot on, you know? The way I speak, the way I, you know, word myself, the way I come across for other people. Like, for me, you know, I'm just a big teddy bear. For other people, you know, they're scared of me fucking killing them. You know, so the way I look at myself is different from everybody else when they speak to me. And I think it's something similar when they talk to you as well.
Yeah. No, I understand. I feel like especially with a lot of the recent events that happened that, you know, I feel like was a good kind of come up for me because I was able to handle a lot of different situations, like the one with the besties, like the one with another
but
group.
the best is you have a good bond with, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
you have a good bond with a couple of gangs out there, and like, I gotta be honest with you, if something comes up with besties today, I will probably send you or Mona to speak to them. Why? Because you guys have the best bond with them, you know? It's not that I cannot handle it. You know? It's not that I'm not able to handle it or don't have, you know, the position in my crew to be able to talk about it. It's more about it will be better if I send you or send Mona. If you
Yeah.
see the whole picture.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
and when
agree
it comes
with
to
you, honestly.
BBMC, the best shit to do with BBMC is always sending Benji. Because they don't respect anyone else.
Yeah, I see your point.
But then
I do
again,
agree with a lot of things you're saying right now.
yeah, but then again, I'm not gonna hold it against you that you wanted to speak to them, that you want to fix the shit, that you want to have the conversation. Completely understandable. Because I've been in
You
your
wanted...
shoes.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done.
No, you're not cutting me off. It's
I
all
was
good.
gonna say, the reason why I wanted to do it is because I feel like I'm in a position where when shit like this happens, I should be able to fix it before it grows into a bigger issue, right? The way
Yeah.
I see it, I don't want, because that was before Benji woke up. I don't want Benji waking up to a situation that I kind of like was a part of, and he goes like, oh, of course Tictac is in this situation, now I gotta go fix it. Like he's like babysitting kind of thing. I want him to wake up and
Benji
be like,
will always say it.
yeah, I know sometimes he jokes, but I want to be able to kind of hold myself up. So if a situation that I was a part of kind of comes up to the gang, even if it's not my fault, right? I'm not the one that did the threats. I'm not the one that wanted to shoot them. They were the one attacking me. But even if that's the case, I feel like I should be able to fix it for him to wake up and not even hear about the story, because it got dealt with so quick that it's irrelevant. You know what I mean?
it's a good mindset to have it. I'm not holding, like, I think it's a smart thing to have that mindset. Don't get me wrong. But the thing of you, something goes on, something happens. I'm just from the outside, so maybe I'm saying it wrong or right here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just putting it from my perspective, from listening to you, listening to Perez, because I spoke to Perez earlier. You come up to him with some issues, and he's telling you, you know, like, ease him down, let's wait for Benji. It's basically your higher up is telling you, you know, like, just relax. I know that Benji 100% will, yeah, he will spin the shit, you know, towards you. You know, I always wake up, tic-tac, you know what I mean? You're causing some issues, and now I need to fix it. Trust me, I heard that fucking line probably 20, 40 times. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
I have done shit or whatever, but it's not about like you saying that people understand that you know how to fix stuff. We already know that. You have nothing to prove. I think you have improvement when it comes to talking to people because, like I said before, it's nothing to undermine who you are. But I think that's the aspect you can improve most, you know, when it comes to shit. You get shit done, you get the troops together, The boys respect you. You have everything on lockdown, you know? The only thing you can improve is the diplomatic and speaking, you know what I mean? It's kind of like similar towards me, you know? But then again, what happened, I'm not saying maybe it would be good you going down there, but at the same time I understand where Perez come from, because if you're heated, so if I put myself in Perez's shoes, it's the BBMC, they said something to you, you come up to me, you're a little bit heated, you want to fix it, understandable, respectable, understand where you're coming from. I know it's the BBMC, and I know that basically Benji told us like 2 weeks ago, if anyone does anything towards the BBMC, he will shoot it himself, you know? That's what the line he used. I would 100% have said the same thing that they said. Chillax, let's wait for Benji. It's not because I don't think you could be able to handle it, it's more about I don't want it, you know, in case they feel still some certain stuff towards you, you know, because they don't have the same respect, you know, to our members, but they respect Benji. At the same time, you going down there, they will probably apologize. You will feel some type of way. Maybe you slip up and they feel some type of way. Suddenly guns are drawn, you know, and we're in a bigger problem. Then just wait, you know, a couple of hours, wait for Benji, tell him the story and let him deal with it.
Yeah, I was gonna even go there without a gun. I told Perez, like, if I was gonna go talk to them, I'm not gonna bring a gun because I'm not there to start something. I'm not there. I don't need a gun because I'm not there to pull a gun out and threaten them. I'm there to have a talk about what happened, and I'm trying to fix it before it turns into a bigger problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. I can understand that. But for me, it was not like, when I heard this story, it was not about like the BBMC stuff, you know? It's more about you kind of like, I don't know if you walked away or if you were standing there, but the way kind of like they interpret you saying about you don't give a fuck about Benji, you know, you're gonna do your thing anyway.
But why would they say that?
I don't know, you need to ask them that.
Who was it that said that? Was it Perez?
Yeah, it was Perez, yeah.
I mean, if I actually said that, don't you think I would have already like went down there and spoke to them? You know what I mean? If I said like, I don't give a fuck about what Benji says, I'm gonna go do it anyway. Like, don't you think like I would have done that?
If you would have, I don't know what you would have done. I don't know. Like I was not there. I cannot, you know. For me, it's just secondhand information.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you would have done and what you said and how the conversation went. If it was, it seems like you guys were not yelling at each other because you came up to Fifi or basically Perez. Though Perez is your higher, Fifi is your equal. But you had a conversation with them, and like I was not there, so I don't know, you know, the temperature in the conversation. Like I said again, you know, it's one way how you trying to give off your information or your conversation, and how people who are listening to you interpreted what you're saying because of the way you speak. Like I said, you know, a couple of times to you now, when people talk to me, like you talk to me, if I talk to somebody else, they feel some type of way because of the way I'm speaking.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do the same for you, even though you have your best intention to whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, I just wish the story wasn't twisted in so many different wrong ways. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I think the best thing to do with this, to handle it, because you're telling me you didn't say that, and that is fair enough. What should have happened and what should be happening, like I will not talk to anyone else, you know, of the members. Whatever he said, it's done. What should be done right now is you having a conversation. Fifi was there, Perez was there, you should have Benji there, you should have Ray there. Get this shit out of the system, what was said and what was not said. When it comes to conversations, you know what I mean? Like, I'm listening to you. If I'm gonna retell what you are telling me right now, I will probably forget half about it and probably adjust, you know, 70% of it, you know, in my way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of fucked up when it comes to that shit, because things can be twisted so bad. I feel like when a story or when a situation happens, there shouldn't be any he said, she said, because things are just gonna get twisted. Like at that point, if you know you don't get the story 100%, and you're just gonna say out of your you're gonna say shit out of your ass, you might as well just not say anything and wait for the person to speak to Benji themselves. Like
Yeah.
maybe tell Benji that Tictac needs to, you know, Tictac needs to talk to you about something. There was a situation with BBMC. You know, make sure you call him when he wakes up or something like that. Instead of like kind of make it twisting the story and making it all fucky fucky.
Yeah. But that's why I having the conversation with you as well. You know, I'm not taking because, like, Perez told me something. And of course, you know, I'm listening to what Perez is telling me. But that's why, you know, like, I always know there's two sides. There's three sides of the story, you know? There's your side, his side, and, you know, the truth is somewhere in between, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, you don't hear me heated or anything like that. You know, I'm listening to what you're saying. I understand, you know, like, you're claiming you said something else, and, you know, I respect that, you know? That's why the best thing to have is have a conversation. But I think you had a conversation with Benji as well? Or am I mistaken now?
No, I didn't have a conversation with
Oh,
him.
you didn't have a
That's
conversation.
why that's why like this sucks so bad, because probably shit was said to him that, like, I mean, clearly something went wrong with the conversation with Benji for me to be suspended. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in the end of the day, I respect my higher ups when it comes to underbosses and bosses. And if
Yeah.
you guys don't think I'm deserving of this position, then that's the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
But
don't
I
think
just
this
want
has nothing to do with deserve the position or not. You know what I mean?
but I just want to kind of clear my side of things, you know?
Yeah, and
And
that is good. And when you have the conversation, put everything on the table. Don't hold back. And that should be from every part, you know? Because you had a conversation with Perez, with Fifi. They interpreted what you said a certain way. That's the way they talk to me about it, you know, or they talk to Benji about it. That's why the best thing to have is you have a conversation. Perez should be there, you know. Benji should be there. Ray should be there.